I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Colby and Chip and Ghosty.
Where in the world is the village?
This is very exciting. We're gonna give you a clue who you're about to see.
Oh yeah, you're rocking your dope ass station. Shout out to the big homie,
Alex Hefner.
Alex Hefner. He was able to go to a Slipknot show.
I heard it was the same one we were at. I'm not sure if
It's
that's
not.
true.
It was in Houston.
Oh, okay.
He went to a Slipknot show, and then Shawn's son recognized him, and they gave him a bunch of passes to go side stage.
Yeah.
So what we were doing for Korn, he was doing for Slipknot.
Yeah, it's crazy too because he said, I guess that kid said he shows Clown is his father,
yeah.
right? And he said that he shows his dad a lot of Hefner's video, and they laugh together and have a blast with it.
Right.
If you check out on Hefner's channel, he put out a video also the same thing, like kind of like what we do with the concert review, and he reviewed it. It's pretty cool. Should check it out.
Yeah, and he's rocking a Sori Secret shirt.
You should have seen me when I saw it.
I bet.
Because we were watching the video, and all of a sudden I was like, hey, wait. Oh my gosh, he's wearing our shirt! I was so excited.
There's a lot of evil stuff that happens in the internet, but this is the best thing. The ability to connect people and all that, and you know, it's crazy because he chose to wear that shirt.
I know.
And he's got my number. He didn't even tell me he was going with the shirt or anything, man. He just that was what he wanted to do. So I don't imagine he has a lot of band shirts because, you know, he was a hip hop head prior to the Reaction Channel thing. So anyway, shout out to the big homie. Much love to him.
So
You dear listener.
I was side stage for Korn, and now I've been side stage for Slipknot.
So, if you, dear listener, want to be as cool as Alex Hefner,
or you just want to take me somewhere with you, get one of these shirts.
Oh gosh, you shouldn't have said that.
Yes, I want to see myself everywhere. Everybody bring me.
He was taking a picture with Shawn's son. That's actually Shawn's son there.
I know.
That was in the picture. Speaking of which, we went to Best Buy. And shout out to the big homie Hans. What's good, buddy? The real acid bath.
Yes! The one and only.
The one and only. Not that fake acid bath. The real one. So we ran into Shawn. He's like, yo, aren't you those weird people that do the video reviews?
Yeah.
He didn't say weird.
Those morons.
So, you know, here we go. This is in his honor. N.I.B. Black Sabbath, for timely topical political commentary. You can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, Hans, if anybody cancels on getting their TV mounted, give us a call.
You have our number?
Actually, I'll just say it here so you'll know it. Just kidding. All right, let's go.
Wow. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, that was so good.
Yeah.
Such a good song. You know, like Ozzy's cadence, you know, like, it's like, especially early Sabbath, it looks like he just matches the dun 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 dun. Mm-hmm. So he does it in that type of, which is, you know, kind of simplistic. But at the same time, I was searching to see if this specific copy, where did you get this specific copy?
Oh, I just went and I got it in the clearest version.
Is it still there?
With lyrics.
Where is it? Where'd you find it? Because was that Ozzy singing on the vocals, or was that Homeboy who took over for Ozzy?
Here. There.
Okay, well, it looks like, yeah, I mean, good Lord. Yeah.
That was really good.
That was insane. That was really, really good job. That was, you know, vocally, that was probably the best vocal performance I've heard from Ozzy on a song. Mm-hmm. Good Lord.
I just like the unique, like, sound that it was comprised.
My favorite part was the guitar part, man.
Yeah.
It had that, like, Jimi Hendrix feel to it. You know, like, I thoroughly enjoyed the guitar work on this one. Like, that was 1970.
What?
Yeah. It was 20 years before
That's
we were born.
Crazy.
That's 20 years before we were born.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I mean, it's insane.
That has to go into the factor of the rating system.
100%. For sure. I mean, good night.
Wow. Okay.
The irony of this whole thing
is what?
Is the reason that Hans talked to it. The reason why he pieced together the YouTube thing was because as we were checking out our tablet, so we can have our family Fortnite thing, I was talking about Ghost. Because you were like, what's a main stage band we haven't done in a while? I was like, oh, Ghost. And then he goes, are you guys those YouTube people? Da, 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 da. So we got struck up in a conversation. The point, though, is that Ghost, that song He is basically a relationship between a girl and a devil.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Something
so like
that, yeah.
That's ironic because this song is basically the devil talking to the girl. So it's like when Ghost did it, I was like, well, okay, you know, it's a really new and Ghost has definitely 1,000,000,000,000% put their spin on that ideology or that idea.
Yeah.
But once again, you know, Sabbath did it before these dudes were born.
Yeah, this was crazy because I legit didn't know that's where it was going. Did you?
I was like, oh, it's a love song, okay. You know, all right.
I didn't think.
Some people say my love cannot be true. Please believe me, my love, and I'll show you.
Yeah.
What did you think it was about?
Well, at first I thought a love song, and then I was like, all this stuff would fit for, like, if you were telling the story of the Nazarene, like you were going to tell the whole thing, Jesus. Oh yeah, some people say my love can't be true. Please believe me, my love. I'll show you. I'll give you the things you thought unreal. The sun, the moon, the stars all bear my seal. So at first I thought, well, that could just be romantic rhetoric. But then in the next one, oh yeah, follow me now and you will not regret it. Before you know the way I'm going to feel. So I thought it was just like, where did you go? You scrolled it while I was for the.
Follow me now and you'll not regret leaving the life you led before we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the first to have this love of mine forever with me till the end of time. See, it sounded like Revelation stuff and then that stuff. And so I was like, wow, this is really interesting that they're writing about, like, Jesus, now I have you with me under my power. Our love grows stronger now with every hour. That's also the every hour thing is something that's talked a lot in church and stuff.
Yeah.
And then look into my eyes, you'll see who I am. My name is Lucifer. I was like, wait, what?
That was definitely a curveball, which explains why Hans was acting so weird.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, what's that? He's like, well, I guess.
I mean, I like, you know.
He's N.I.B. That's what I like.
And he knew we were Christians.
Yeah,
so
I'm like, I wonder why that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I didn't really think about that until the Lucifer part came in. I was like, right.
There's the hesitation.
Nobody wants to be Beelzebub's girlfriend. Tell the truth. It's an interesting idea. Could the devil actually fall in love? It's an interesting idea. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know theologically where that would necessarily be a problem, especially considering if you take.
I just always assumed that the devil never could love.
Well, yeah. People usually act as if the devil's like a totality of evil. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure the scripture says that. The scripture says he's a liar.
Yeah.
but it doesn't, whether or not he could feel loyalty to his friends or whatever, I have no idea. He's just, he's just a selfish, if he were to fall in love, he'd be just a nasty, like dating somebody with narcissistic personality disorder or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's an interesting idea. Like, could you have the ability to love? What's interesting is in the intertestamental book of Enoch.
Yeah.
So the Watchers, these divine beings, these devils, come down. They cohabit with women, and the children that they create are these crazy, terrible giants. Mm-hmm. So in Enoch, the justification for the flood was around the proliferation of these giant, half angel, half man creatures. Mm-hmm. And in Enoch, it's really interesting because the guys who came down, the Shemyaza and all those guys, when they came down, they got banished to Tartarus, which, by the way, Bible Boogie people, that's another Greek word for hell, is Tartarus. I think it's used in 1st or 2nd Peter, but that's talking about the angels who came down to cohabit with women. One of their punishments was they got locked into this kind of place in the underworld where they couldn't get out, which mirrors very closely to, in Greek mythology, with the Titans. The Titans were consigned to Tartarus, and it's a very particular place in the underworld that's held for whatever. So my point is, so these angels get sent to Tartarus because they went down from heaven to earth and cohabited with women, and they go to Enoch and say, hey, go up to God, because he talks to you a lot, and ask him to set us free from this, to forgive us. And so Enoch goes back, and God says, hell no, I'm not forgiving y'all. As a matter of fact, the other punishment you're going to get is I'm going to kill your kids before your eyes, these giants. And that was a punishment because apparently in the narrative, these angels loved their kids. Mm-hmm. So they didn't want to see them, whatever. So my point is that we always look at Satan as like the complete opposite of God. So if God is all good, Satan is all evil.
Yeah.
And the Bible never where says that Satan's all evil. I don't.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I don't.
I think I'd rather just think of him as being all bad.
Yeah, that's.
It makes it easier.
Yeah, I don't know. He could be all bad. Maybe somebody will show us a text. He's definitely a liar, and I definitely don't believe you should follow him. Nor do I believe you should date him. But all I'm saying is that's an assumption that gets made, but there's no scriptural support. I don't think. He's just he's called a liar, he's called a serpent, he's called a dragon. Yeah. But I don't think that you could say he doesn't have emotions and loyalty and friendships and all the rest of it. How can you say that? I don't know. But it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I guess I just always picture that he's the epitome of all that's bad.
Right, because a lot of people have this sort of dualistic understanding of the devil, that he is the opposite of God, and he's not presented that way in the Bible.
That's true. That's true.
He's not presented as the opposite of God because God is so high in another category that he cannot even be compared to the devil. Mm-hmm. So, they're not rivals. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the scripture just says he'll come back and destroy him with the breath of his mouth. Just be gone. So yeah, I hear you. I'm not a dualist, so I don't believe that the Bible is, but it's a very interesting concept. The other concept is, if you don't take this literally to be the literal devil, this could be any horrible, abusive boyfriend who, whatever, where a woman she just can't get away. Yeah, that's true. Because abusers are very, very, very good at pouring on the sugar when they need to, even though they're saying really terrible things, or even if they're the absolute devil. Yep. You can't really tell. Yep. And so like you get caught up in a moment, and you're like, oh, and then you forget all the crazy things that happen. That line right there. I've
seen it so many times with women. Yeah.
Yeah. Your love for me has just got to be real before you know the way I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel, which is, again, it has some implications if you're thinking about it from the, Genesis 6, angels coming down perspective. Now I have you with me under my power. Our love goes stronger now every hour. Look into my eyes, see who I am. My name is Lucy. So there it is right there. Like, she's under his power, like this sway. Right? Like, and there's obviously a power to love and a magnetism that happens when you love a person. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like now I've got you under my power. And so then love gets misconstrued. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very interesting. Like, and we have these conversations a lot about power in relationships.
Yep.
And about how important it is to function as equals in a relationship instead of one person having the power. Because you notice that a lot in relationships. There's usually one person that's kind of like the dominant person. And I'm not talking about a leader. I'm talking about like somebody who just dominates and there's kind of emotional blackmail and all these power plays to keep the other person in check. And so what's interesting is he puts that language in the mouth of the devil. You're under my power, you know? Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing, too, is I would think that if you were going to date the devil, which I'm not even, I don't even think that that's really a thing, but let's say you could date the devil, like you would know that it was the devil that you were trying to date, right? Because you would have had some sort of pursuit after. In this narrative, it doesn't look like the person knows. He waits until they are under his power, and then when their love grows strong by every hour, that's when he says, look into my eyes, you'll see who I am. And then he says that he's Lucifer. So then that kind of, I think, fits your other thing where it's like a terrible boyfriend. And so, you know, at first she's wanting to be in the relationship, and then as soon as he gets her under the power, then he reveals who his real true self
really is.
Yeah.
Right.
So it kind of fits that more.
Right. And yeah. And when you're in that situation, you know, I tell people all the time, like, it's very, very, very rare that, you know, if you put a white glove into a puddle of mud, the glove is going to get muddy. The mud does not get glovey. So people are who they are, and you got to pay close attention. But that was a very just like a mind-boggling line to me, because I'm like, yo, the devil's talking about this, having power in a relationship and all that. And I think a lot of people don't know how to function in relationships as equals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with like background and what you think about and religion. You know, like there's a lot. I mean, we talk about this all the time, and I'd be like, "Would you just?" It doesn't matter what I think, or it doesn't matter if you know I want to do something. It doesn't matter. Like you can do something, like you know. But you were taught that that's a good Christian woman is a woman who just goes along with everything and is basically. So that's a weird thing. Is like an evangelical could sing this. You know, like. An old school, you know, we know a couple of misogynistic evangelicals that, you know, are, it's weird. They're after the exact same thing that Lucifer's after in this passage, which is to control somebody. You got a lot of insecure men who will use the Bible to try to keep their ladies in check because, you know.
Yeah. You cannot have the closeness that you could have in a relationship if one person is controlling.
Right. And what's interesting is when you speak about control in the aspect of our relationship to God, there's not one passage in the New Testament where it says, you know, God has controlled us. You know, you're told to control yourself, but you're not told to control other people.
Yeah, and says that He frees us for freedom. Christ has set you free.
Right. And the interesting thing is there is one passage that I'm familiar with that speaks about control or compulsion, and I'm pretty sure it's 2 Corinthians 5 where Paul says the love of Christ compels us. So it's really interesting because it's like you've got two different ways of prosecuting your relationship. One is to have and sometimes it's the male that's dominant, sometimes it's the female that's dominant, but there's generally one in the relationship where somebody's dominating the other person, or you can have a relationship where you love somebody so much that you're compelled to do X, Y, and Z out of a state of love. So if you know, that's the difference, and that's kind of how I gauge the relationships. It's like, if you're power grabbing and me, and I'm the man, I have the authority, blah, or whatever it is, or I'm the woman, I'm not gonna, you know, whatever, then I think that that's unhealthy. But if you've got a relationship where both of them are compelled to do something because they love each other so much, well then that's a completely different ballgame. And that's good, and we should have more of that. But it was just an interest, that line was just like crazy to me. Tony Iommi's musicianship, I didn't like the main riff, it just sounded, you know, it sounded very 70s. But when Iommi was going off,
Oh my gosh.
There were 2 sections where he went off. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. 1970. I don't even know how old these dudes were, but they couldn't have been more than 24, right?
Wow.
And this is a completely brand new genre of music that they're doing. So it's not like they can like look to other bands and copy everything.
Yeah.
You know, like we do. You know, like every Korn kid got an Ibanez guitar and just hung out in the first 2 parts of the fretboard and, you know, whatever. Really, really, really good song. What do you give it?
I'm giving it a 10. I mean, I cannot believe this was put out in 1970.
That's pretty ridiculous.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's pretty ridiculous. It's a 9.3 for me. I felt like the riff was a little bit simplistic and whatever, but the rest of the song was insane. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. We need to get that man Hans a raise, huh? Hans is boss? Give the man a raise?
Yes. Hashtag give Hans a raise.
Justice for Hans!
Yep. Johan's been freed, so
Right.
why should not Hans have some justice as well?
Johan's been free for quite some time.
He has. He's been doing so good.
Putin let him out. I got a call from President Trump.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I got my friend Vlad on the line.
Turns out he is working with the Russians to free Johan.
And we now have 2 subscribers. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Hans and Cam from the Slipknot show. Gone. Oh, speaking of Slipknot show, shout out to Shannon and her boyfriend. She's like, thanks, thank you so much. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. I made it this time.